Good evening. Welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I am really glad you're here. Tonight, to look at something that's a little less domestic for those of us in the United States, let's look across the pond at the country that we celebrated our independence from on the 4th of July. Now, as you can tell just by that introduction, I'm being very careful about how I phrase things. By the way, it's still Thursday, July 7th, 2022. But I know I won't have any trouble sharing this because it's from YouTube itself. Nigel Farage, he's a former UK Independence Party leader, and he's still a member of the European Parliament, has an interview that's located here on CNBC television, speaking about how it would be difficult for someone to continue as prime minister, and indeed that is no longer going to be the case. So you can go here and listen to, hey, that's mainstream, but he is presenting his opinions. And 59 in the last few days, 59 members, some of them junior, some of them senior, of government have taken leave of their positions. It's unheard of. And there's speculation about how across the pond things are going to develop and what's going to happen. Now, I don't want to get in trouble with what I share, so I thought, let's just look at Mr. Farage. Just a little review for those of us that haven't closely followed him. This is the former broadcaster and politician who was absolutely instrumental in having Brexit occur, bringing it to a vote. And while it's still, they're still dilly-dallying about it, the people, the citizens made their voices heard with their votes and said, yeah, we want Brexit. And he also, interestingly enough, coached Mr. T in the art of debate. Now, I don't know how well that took because I don't see Mr. T as a strong debater, but there was that one fabulous comment he made in that one debate where he said, you'd be in jail. So he did learn how to do some zingers, and his debate skills did develop as the years went by. So anyway, I've heard some talk about, would it be possible that Mr. Farage would be a contender to be a prime minister? Now, I'm not going to, this is one of those times when, other than what I've just shared with you about Mr. Farage, I really don't know much about him. And remember, with tarot reading, you only have to know the question. You don't have to have all the background information. I did want to show you that there is an interview about politics for that country that is being allowed on YouTube. So there is information out there. And let's ask the cards about this. Is that what does the universe want us to know about the political present and future for the person, or I'll just say the person seen in the public eye as Nigel Farage? Okay, because I have no idea if he's a version 2.0 or anything like that. And the universe is very literal, so we're going to keep it that specific. The person or avatar seen in the public eye as Nigel Farage. What does the universe want us to know about his political present, moving on to near future, and then maybe 2 years down the road? Let's see what it has to say. We have Queen of Cups, Judgment, Four of Swords, King of Wands, Nine of Cups, the Hermit, and the World. The situation with Mr. Farage is indicated, our question is indicated by the Queen of Cups. She is a card of emotional intelligence, and as we are finding out, we have been taught for generations to downplay this ability and talent and skill in ourselves. And we're slowly realizing how important that is to use emotional intelligence when we look at situations and current events. The Judgment card is clarifying this. Now, the Judgment card talks about how you should be doing some evaluation as you move forward. And so I think we're going to be seeing some restructuring and definitely some brand new faces in the political arena across the pond. But specifically now for Mr. Farage, he's going to have some opportunities presented to him. Whether or not he takes them up on it, let's see if we've got some information here. I asked about his present and then near future and farther ahead. So in the present, okay, there is something he is considering or has been presented to him that is not being made public. These things are, so numerous things are. We know he's making current interviews, he's being sought out for interviews, and his opinion is valued. And certainly when it came to the cause of Brexit, he stayed the course. He was absolutely consistent and unflagging in that. No matter what your personal opinion on that might have been, you can't fault him for his consistency of effort in that regard. Now, at the near future, we got the King of Wands, and that is a leadership position. So he is not done with politics. And since we've got the King of Wands here, he definitely is a contender to be the next prime minister or a prime minister in the future. I'll put it that way. And then looking ahead up to a couple of years ahead, at that point, he's going to have accomplished about 90% professionally and politically that he had hoped to accomplish. And that's not bad, folks. The Hermit card is one of the clarifiers. So we do have some off-world energy that's, as always, right now, present in our situations. By the way, I'm going to stop the read for just a second and say something. I realize my voice is hoarse. I'm tired, and that's one of the things. As I get tired, I'll have a hoarse voice. And I have vocal cord damage from 2 throat surgeries that I had in 2007. So please don't tell me to go see a natural doctor or worry about me. It's just that I've spoken more than usual today and I'm tired. So as I finish this video, I will be a little bit hoarse and I'll be fine tomorrow. It's not a problem. So the Hermit's on the scene here. So we need to, as we use our emotional intelligence, we need to remember that there are forces and energies at play that are beyond the human scope. The world is showing up as a secondary advice. So there is good things planned for Mr. Farage, and he is going to take advantage of them. Let's look at a little more information. Pleasant surprise. That's the first thing I think of when I see Page of Cups. Now this is interesting. I don't think I've ever had a political person that I've read about that this card has not come up at some point in the reading. Okay, when it comes up at the start of it, it tells me that they use some trickery to get where they are. But what I'm seeing here is at some point, Mr. Farage may have a version 2.0 that steps in. And so we need to be watching to see if that's the case. And that can be their choice. They can say, I got them over the hurdle. I'd like to step back and let an avatar continue and build my legacy that I'll be leaving, politically. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. It doesn't mean that he's going to be removed because of some horrible misdeed or something like that. But we'll need to be watching the shape of the years and things like that and see if at some point we have a Mr. Farage 2.0 that comes on the scene. The Ace of Cups says ultimately good things are happening for him and with him, and he is a strong contender to help bring his country back on a path of light, as all countries need right now. And the change towards that light and for his country is not going to be fast. This doesn't mean he's passing away. It just means that there's transformation happening, and transformation, as we know, since we're going from dark to light, is a good transformation. And but it's not going to happen quickly. So interesting, 59 people no longer in office, and the number may grow. And Mr. Farage is being sought out for comments and has a solid track record of consistency. And he's going to have more happening in the future. So we'll have to keep our eye on that situation. And let's intention that only good things happen, that the best possible outcome happens for that country and for those who move into leadership positions. If you always ask for the best possible outcome and let the universe decide what that is, you can't go wrong. Can't go wrong. It's the kind of spiritual way of saying what the perfect prayer when you're a Christian, which is thy will be done. So the best possible outcome for Mr. Farage, for his country, and for all the people that have had to deal with some really draconian measures the last couple of years. Our hearts are with you and our thoughts are with you. That's it for this video. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. And like I said, don't be concerned about the voice. It's just a result of vocal cord damage and being fatigued. I'll be fine tomorrow. Thank you. Good night.